It's time for a new episode of Sit Down with the Supt. In this episode, the importance of our upcoming replacement levy, the critical programs it funds, and questions from students about what's at stake. Also, returning to the activities students love without mask requirements, what the lifting of state mask mandates has meant for students and staff. And Students Becoming Teachers, the program that's helping students become better readers with the help of their classmates. And now your host, Craig Bernbach, and Superintendent John Boyd.
Hello and welcome to Sit Down with the Supt. I'm Craig Bernbach. I work in the Community Relations Department here at Evergreen Public Schools, and I'm your host for Sit Down with the Supt, the show where Superintendent John Boyd shares information about the important issues and decisions that are affecting your schools. He won't just answer my questions, he's also going to answer questions directly from our students. And this week, we will be asking questions about the replacement epno levy that voters have until April 26 to vote on. Remember, this is not a new tax. This levy will just continue the current epno levy, and it keeps the tax rate the same. These funds support essential programs and services that aren't fully funded by the state. These funds pay for things like athletics, orchestra, band, theater, safety and security staff, and special education programs, just to name a few. And with that, I want to welcome in Superintendent John Boyd. And John, thanks as always for joining me here. And this week's special picture here includes Chehalia librarian Paul Warner, students from Chehalia and other schools in our district, a special guest, and that's you, John Boyd.
That is me towering above there, right next to Darth Vader. And yeah, that was one of the most fun events that I've had since I've been in the Evergreen Public School District. And Paul did just an amazing job of getting the 501, which is a group out of Portland, to come and show up, and it was phenomenal. The best part of that was it was right after the state mask mandate was lifted, so we were able to see people's smiling faces, and it was unreal how many people were just excited to be there, to be smiling, and to be participating in an event that we haven't had the opportunity to have in a long time.
Yeah, it's called ReadCon, and it was not just Star Wars people, but it was a book fair. Yeah. A Lego building contest. It's really incredible, and the line was out the door for people to come in, so you know people were waiting for this.
Yeah, and they were doing it right next to a choir performance that was happening later in the date, or actually a strings orchestra event, and so a lot of excitement, a lot of energy there at Chehalia, and it was just a wonderful night to be part of.
All right, and I started off by talking a little bit about the epno levy that's right now people can vote on. I want to start with the question for you directly as the superintendent. What do you see? What's so valuable about the levy funds? Why are they so critical to our programs and students?
Well, they've always been critical. I mean, they pay for those things that students get beyond what the state pays for. So you mentioned them: orchestra, athletics, music, all of those athletics, activities, and things that students do beyond and outside of the school day. And so going from the pandemic into recovery, those are the types of experiences that students are really going to need to participate in to become healthy again and to become whole again. And so it pays for those critical things that our students need most right now in this moment.
All right, you talked about students, and of course, anything that we do in the schools is for the students, so I think this is the perfect time for our student Q&A. All right, John, I want to let you know that all these questions from students are levy related, and the questions come from students at Evergreen High School. Let's listen to the first one.
Hi, my name is Robert Elkin. I'm a junior, and I'm wondering how much of our budget is made up by the levy.
Yeah, the levy funds that are on the ballot on April 26 make up about 11% of our budget. So that's approximately $30 million. And we also get a state match if we pass the levy of approximately $7 or $8 million more dollars. So it's a significant portion of the funds that we use to support student activities beyond what the state pays for.
All right, and of course, this levy replaces the existing one that will expire, and it will be at the same rate at $1.70, which was which was the rate on the levy that we're currently using, right?
Correct. It's a replacement levy. The rates will remain constant, and the overall school rates will go down.
Right, because it combines with our bond, which is slowly going down every year, correct?
Correct.
All right. All right, let's hear the next question from Evergreen High School.
Hi, my name is Jordan Quinn, and I'm a senior at Evergreen High School, and I'm wondering what classes will be cut if the levy fails.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Jordan. The things that will have to be cut and reduced are more related to extracurricular activities, athletics, drama, theater, the things that students do beyond the school day. So some of those special programs are at risk at the classroom level, but the majority of the reductions and the cuts would be done for those things outside of the school day. It's the music, it's the athletics, it's the drama and theater, and the support of students as well. Students that are learning English for the first time, students that have special needs, safety and security. Those are the types of things that our levy supports our students, counselors, nurses, those kinds of things.
Yeah, things that currently exist in our school district based on the fact that we've had this levy continuously for many years.
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's listen to the last question from Evergreen High School.
Hi, my name is Logan Fisher. I'm a senior, and I'm wondering if the levy fails, how will it affect my peers and my ability to attend great colleges?
Yeah, that's a good question from Logan, and I'll reiterate that it's not going to impact your a lot of your particular academic classes per se, but what colleges do look for is they look for that well-rounded student. They look for that student that participates in all of the things that we mentioned before. Maybe they're an athlete and they're a captain on their team, or they are participating in a leadership activity at the school in one of our many leadership opportunities, or they're in music and drama and theater. All of those things that make a student well-rounded and that colleges look for in the application process are part of what the levy supports. So that would be the major impact, I think, for Logan as he's applying to school. They might not have the opportunity to engage in some of those things that colleges look for on an application process.
All right, and just a reminder, ballots for registered voters. People should have their ballots now, and so you can vote right now. You can drop it off or mail it in, but votes have to be in. April 26th is the deadline, so remember to vote. All right, now we'll move off the levy a little bit. And last time we sat here, you were brand new.
Yes.
Had just started. 2+ now months in the district, full time. I know you've been up to a lot of schools and met with a lot of people. What's maybe your main takeaway?
Yeah, 2 months, I'm a veteran now. So a lot of takeaways, and I have been visiting schools. I've talked to probably 120 or 150 people personally, and I'm asking questions. What's going well? What are some of the challenges? What advice do you have for me as a new superintendent coming into this situation? And it's been uncanny. The responses have been very similar. One is people really feel good about the people who work in Evergreen schools. There's a lot of good people in the Evergreen schools is something I hear almost verbatim out of everybody's mouth. And I believe that to be true based on my interactions with people. I know that people really want to be part of something greater than themselves. They want to be part of a mission and a vision and want to be moving in a direction together. And so we're working really hard on our strategic planning process to be able to pull ourselves together so we're all rowing in the same direction. So people want some strategic initiatives, some planning, some vision, and that's been absolutely a theme for folks. You know, there's also a desire for people, especially the principals that I've been talking to, is they want to know that the district office is here to support schools in the ways that they can call up and trust that the answers they're going to get are going to be similar, so there's not silos, and that we're going to be working and prioritizing our work on to support schools. And so that's something that we're working really hard on with our cabinet level team to do some trust building and some team building and kind of come together around that mission of our job truly is to support kids, and the way we do that is to support principals, to support teachers. And so that's a a definite theme, I would say, too. And there's just the whole idea of trust and we know that we've got some work to do in that area. Trust with our principals, trust with our teachers and our classified staff, with our community, with our kids. So that is definitely come to the top as a theme. We conducted a thought exchange, which is an interactive survey, and that was one of our top themes there. So those are kind of the themes that we're working hard to address. We're trying to be out in front listening. This thought exchange activity was just one of the many ways that we'll be doing listening for folks, but it was a good start for us to kind of point our compass in the right direction in terms of what we need to do and how we need to respond to our community.
I know because I followed you around to many events and to many schools, but I haven't been to all the schools you've visited. But you have made that a priority to go in and not just meet with principals, but meet with staff from the front door, to the cafeteria, to the gym. Why, as a superintendent, is that so important to you? I know this isn't your first gig in a school. I mean, you've been doing this for a while. So why was that a priority for you when you came in?
Just from the standpoint of used to be a secretary in the building. I was a classified staff. I was a kindergarten assistant. I've been a teacher, a principal, and I've been in the district office. And it really feels good when somebody from higher up comes in and actually pays attention to you and asks you questions, genuine questions about your work. And what it also does for me is when I'm asking those genuine questions and people are telling me and giving me genuine answers, it helps me with my decision making as we're making very difficult and challenging, complex decisions at the district office. So it's personal for me because I've been in those chairs, and on a professional level, it really helps inform decisions. And it's fun. It's fun to be in schools. It's the best part of my job. I love being around kids. I love, teachers and principals are my people. So it just feels good to be in the mix with them too. But it also helps ground me and make me a good leader, making decisions that are in the best interest of students.
And one of the decisions that you were part of making was you brought in an assistant superintendent on a temporary basis, at least for now, and Dr. Rebecca Miner, and I know you're really happy to have her here.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and we just are extremely lucky to have her filling in that assistant superintendent job of teaching and learning. She's been a superintendent in 10 years in 2 different districts. She grew up was born and raised in Vancouver, went to Vancouver schools, and she's worked just like me as a teacher, as a principal, as a district office person and a superintendent, and now we caught her at the right time to get her, rope her into coming in here, and she's just really helped tremendously. Having that outside perspective, somebody with that wealth of knowledge and understanding of education, and especially teaching and learning, I think is really helping us to focus our effort around what I consider our most important mission is the teaching and learning, that experience between the teacher and the student in the classroom.
All right, one thing people might have noticed, we're sitting here without masks, which is the first time in a long time that we've been able to do this show that way. And that's because there's been a lot of changes in state mandated COVID regulations. Yes. And I just wanted you to give people an update on where we stand with COVID right now in their schools.
Well, as you mentioned, the state mask mandates have been lifted, so that's allowed us to provide the flexibility of whether or not folks want to wear a mask or not. And you can see in this picture behind us, you have a couple of students that are choosing to, and you have a student and a couple of staff members, me included, that are choosing not to. So it's great to see the smiling faces. It's great to be in schools where we have a situation that feels a little bit more normal, and I think in the observations I've done in the school, it's also providing a level of calm and it's relaxing people a little bit. We're looking forward to hopefully being able to do graduation in a more traditional way. That's important to people, and we're seeing being able to have a lot of the events like this that is just phenomenal, and it provides those are the extra things that really makes school matter for kids, you know, and it kind of gets back to the levy, to be frank, that these extra things that like this that we can do now with the mask mandate, the state mask mandates lifted, are the kinds of things that we really need to be doing right now. And so it's just fun to be able to go out and see people's smiling faces, to actually see people that in the first month and a half, I didn't even know what their face looked like. I was surprised you had a beard.
So was I. I was like, where'd that come from?
So yeah, it's been great, and I'm hoping that the rates continue to stay low and the mandates continue to be lifted in ways that support our students to be able to do the extra stuff that makes school special.
Great, John. Thank you. And we started off this show by talking about a great experience in a library, and we're going to kind of end the show with another great experience from a library. This is a cool story. It comes from us from Columbia Valley Elementary School, where students are helping other students learn to read. It's called Reading Buddies, and it's guaranteed to make you smile.
Let's try to sound it out. Hungry, yes.
Yes, that is a 5th grader giving a reading lesson to a 3rd grader at Columbia Valley Elementary School.
Oink, oink, said Gilbert.
You want to know what this is all about? I'll just let one of the teachers explain.
Book buddies is like there's a 5th grader and either a 2nd grader or a 3rd grader who doesn't have time to read or wants to read more. They come 3 times each week and we talk about our books and we read together.
The explanation of the program is pretty simple, and so is the motivation behind it.
Well, we have a new librarian this year, Mrs. Petrie, and she was thinking about how can we get more kids into the library. And so I went to Mrs. Shira, our amazing reading interventionist, and I said, here's some spots throughout my day that I think we could fill it with some kids reading. That's what the library is for.
And Reading Buddies? Well, the program's working.
They now are talking at recess about this. They're talking in the hallways, at bus duty in the morning. They come up to me and ask, do I have reading buddies today? And I love it. They're kids that were not excited about reading are now really excited about it.
And it's not just the younger kids who are benefiting from the relationship.
What I like from Reading Buddies is that it is fun teaching other kids how to read. You can get your mouth ready to say the first sound.
I like that I can help other people read because I've loved reading for a while, and it's just like I want to be able to help other people do that.
He's nice. He actually helps me out.
Now, while getting better at reading is a prize in itself, there are some sweet bonuses included.
It's about cake, too. Do you know the cake connection?
No.
Okay. We're partnering with Nothing Bundt Cakes in Vancouver. And so Columbia Valley has this program. If you read 400 minutes, you get to go, and Nothing Bundt Cakes give them a small Buntini cake.
Cake is a recruiting tool, but the best recruiters for Reading Buddies are the buddies themselves.
They could barely walk down the hallway without getting into trouble. If they're having trouble reading and they said, I don't know how to read, I need something to help me, I'll just say, I think you just might need reading buddies.
I got to tell you, John, it was great being able to meet these student teachers, and I think you might have to hire some of these guys eventually.
Yeah, hopefully some of these young teachers will become our teachers. That'd be outstanding.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see our young people helping out other young people, and it's not just learning to read. I think they're learning a lot more.
Oh, they're learning service above self. They're learning to what it feels like to help someone else, and that's a good feeling. But there's also the ulterior motive of teaching is the highest form of learning. So the teachers are putting their students that are becoming the teachers in a situation where they're learning as well. So it's really a beautiful thing to see. And just another great example of all of the phenomenal things that are happening in Evergreen Public Schools. And as I get around all the schools, I'm blown away by the creativity of the teachers. Here's an example, there's an example. There's so many examples of people doing just amazing work. So it's inspiring. Thanks for sharing it.
All right, great. Well, John, thank you for
Yes.
taking the time to answer these questions. We really enjoyed this whole conversation. And before we go, I do want to remind everyone else that we want to stay connected to you. Please follow us on social media. Here's where you can find us.
On Facebook, you'll find us at facebook.com/evergreenps. On Instagram, it's evergreen_public_schools. On Twitter, follow us at twitter.com/evergreenps. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/evergreen school district. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And on LinkedIn, you'll find us at linkedin.com/school/evergreenps.